You have just crossed over into the Brick Zone. My name is Will, and this is a comparison video between these two Halo Mega Bloks Scorpion tanks. On the left, we have the Scorpion Sting from 2015, while on the right, we have the UNSC Scorpion from 2009. So, the time gap between these two is pretty large. This one is from over 5 years ago, and since then, I think Mega Bloks has made a lot of improvements to their sets, part quality-wise and building techniques as well. Before I go on, I'm aware that there were two other tanks after this first one. There was one in the ODST Invasion set along with the UNSC Rhino, but I don't own either of those sets, so today I'm just comparing these two. So, I think the main difference between the two tanks is piece count. The original set included 278 pieces, while the new one included 616 pieces, so that is about double the amount of the original. I think that you can see that visually, but more clearly in the price. So, this original Scorpion tank was around $30, whereas this one was a little over $50, so that's not that good, or I did not like having to pay more, but I think that it shows. I think this looks slightly better. I think there are some differences that I'm sure some people will prefer or not prefer, but between the two, I think it's really tough, because I really like both. I'd just like to point out that my original Scorpion tank, I did not apply a lot of the stickers. The only sticker I applied was the Scorpion, for obvious reasons. Other than that, I think I left all of them off. And the other thing I'd like to point out is that the minigun that's usually here, I was missing that piece, so that's just a substitute. But other than that, it should be complete for the most part. Anyway, on to more comparisons about the tank. I think a big difference is the color. So here you have a military green color, whereas here you have sort of a tan, brownish color. Between those two colors, I prefer this one. I think another big difference between these two tanks is the turret. So this turret is larger while this is smaller. And you know, the main body of the original is 6 stud wide, while as this one is 8 stud wide, and I think a large part of that is just because the set included more pieces, and also it helped to accommodate this secondary turret along with the hatch back here, whereas this one only has this single hatch for a driver to operate the tank. So again, I think I'd favor this one just because I think for most of the Halo games past Halo 2, I'm used to there being a secondary turret in the tanks, whether it be a Scorpion tank or a Wraith. So that's a nice feature because you can hold more troops on it. So the cannons are pretty similar, both in length and design. I'm not sure which one is exactly longer, but I think the main difference with this one is it has this little fin they added sticking up. They both have the two little side guns there. I think the advantage with this one is that you can actually angle that up and down with the main cannon. So the main cannon can also angle up and point down. With this old one, you actually, I didn't know this, but you can't point the main cannon down. You can only aim it up. So again, another advantage of this new Scorpion Sting. The Scorpion Sting also has headlights at the front, whereas the old Scorpion tank does not. And with that smaller piece count for the original, you get less pieces building a lot of things, especially the treads, I'd like to point out. I think these were just large pieces so they came together a lot faster than the ones for the Scorpion Sting. I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. A bad thing because it takes a lot more time to build these, but a good thing because, you know, a lot of building techniques went into building the treads to that tank, whereas this, it was just one large piece, like a lot of Mega Bloks older sets. If we take a look here at the back, you can see here on the back of the original Scorpion tank, it is pretty flat and blocky looking, whereas here they capture the back of the Scorpion tank pretty well with this shape. Another thing is that you can open this up on hinges. At the time I'm recording this video, the Halo 5 Guardians game has not been released yet, so in my review I pointed out I'm curious if that will be an in-game feature, like opening the back of this, perhaps to carry additional troops, or if that's just in the design to get that shape. Because I know some Scorpion tanks, at least in the second and third game of Halo, have that kind of that shape that goes outwards and inwards in the back. So, along the treads on the new Scorpion tank, you will find a lot more shape and texture. So they add some of these silver tiles here and here, along with a silver disc. So they add more color as well. You have stripes here. Speaking of the stripes, the detailing on the new Scorpion tank, all of it is printed, while with the old Scorpion tank you have to apply annoying stickers. And from what I've seen, the stickers in the original Scorpion tank really didn't add that much to the tank. So that's why I really just put on the Scorpion. But other than that, a lot of it was just, you could just leave it off, which is what I did with most of my older sets, which, you know, I'm fine with. I think they look better without the stickers. So, I think besides size and the color choice of the tanks, a big thing to look at is the treads. So, if we pick this Scorpion tank up, you'll see that the treads have no friction where they're attached with those pins. So the treads, like you're seeing now, just fall vertically, or yeah, they just fall and they just hang there vertically, which can be annoying when you're just moving this thing around onto different surfaces. Whereas if we pick this one up, nothing. The treads stay there. They're attached with pins with more friction on them, and they also have pins on the main body preventing them from doing that. So, if we take a closer look, you can see those pins are on all four treads, or above all four treads. So it prevents them from doing that. I mean, you can still do it this way, but when are you really going to do that? Maybe if you're crossing some terrain. So I took them off my turntable so I can show you guys how they operate when you try to move them along. With this old Scorpion tank, you really have to push hard to get the treads to move. Whereas here, with the new Scorpion Sting, the treads move seamlessly without much effort. So I think the quality of the tread, like the tracks themselves, they're better in the new one. And this is just, like I said, this is pretty annoying. And I think I left this original Scorpion tank on a shelf for a long time, and like the material of the treads just kind of deteriorated and like got stuck to my shelf. So that was not cool. So another thing, you can also rotate the main turrets of each tank 360 degrees, so this one turns. And the Scorpion Sting turret and main cannon also turn a 360, or are able to turn 360 degrees, along with the secondary turret, which can also aim up and down. I think I may have forgotten to mention that in my review, but there you go. So, oh, and also in addition to the tanks in the sets themselves, this included two figures a red elite and a red Spartan and a blue elite. This set also included those in addition to Spartan Buck. So I keep saying minifigs, 3 figures versus 2 figures. So again, that piece count, with this one being 278 and this being 616, you get more and you pay more. But I think the end result is worth it. The extra that you pay, or the extra that you get, you can see it. You can see that there's a lot more going on with this new tank, I think, than this old one. Visually it looks like it has more mass. At least, I think it shows more in the main turrets, in the main cannon, and all that section. I mean, other than that, they look very similar. I think one could notice the large pieces of the treads used here, and they could probably pick out all of the little pieces used to build the treads here, so I guess whatever you prefer. I think the better thing is the one with more pieces, because I feel like sets that use large specific pieces, or pieces that are just specific to that set, that are made for that set, that's kind of feels like a cop-out for most times, So, those are the 2 Scorpion tanks. I think I've said all I've had to say, really. I think functionality-wise and design-wise, this one is better. If you take out the nostalgia factor of this first tank. For some reason, this one looks more familiar. I guess maybe because it's based on the original Scorpion tank. Like I mentioned in my review, I'm not sure how this tank operates in-game compared to the old Scorpion tank. But I imagine it'll be very similar. Unless there is that troop carrier feature in the back, which would be pretty cool, but I have no idea if that's going to be in there. I think that's just to capture the shape of the back. So overall, I really like both, but I think I would have to say I like the Scorpion Sting slightly better, even though I had to pay slightly more. You get more figures, and Buck is a really nice figure to get, really well desirable, officially named figure. Whereas you get 2 generic ones here. I think that the size of the thing is more intimidating with this tank. I think I'll just zoom in a little for you guys to see that better. Not that it matters, because this video's going to come to an end. But, yeah, size-wise, this one is bulkier. It has more mass to it. It just feels... It doesn't feel flimsy or... I'm going to do that again. I don't know, it's sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart, and, it just has a lot more going on, I think. It has a lot more shape and has more detail to it than this first one, which, is flat and blocky in a lot of areas. But, I think... like I said, I think I like both. So, those are really my final thoughts. As much as this one has going on for it and all the new features, I still think this is pretty well designed. Especially for 5 or 6 years ago. So, what do you guys think of these 2 tanks? Do you prefer the old Scorpion tank? Or do you prefer the new Scorpion tank, the Scorpion's Sting? Leave a comment below with your thoughts on why you prefer which one over the other, or if you like both, like me. I personally like both. But honestly, I think I personally like this one slightly more. Not sure how that'll go in-game, but we will see. Like or dislike the video, depending on if you liked it or disliked it. And you should go check out some more videos here on the Brick Zone. for more video reviews and stop motions. Thank you.